We are live as we travel the uphill road, coming to you from Black Bottom, number one Detroit. We thank God that we have survived and now have arrived at the last stop. Living with reality, truth, and consequences. Exciting yet thoughtful conversation. Monologue, dialogue, dynamic guest, interviews. Most importantly, you, the listening audience. Live chat. Soon coming will be live. Greetings. This is the last stop. I'm your host and conductor, M. Backham. I'm going to reintroduce you to Micheal Yon. Well-traveled, one of the most experienced combat journalists that of our times. His word is good. His word is true. I find no other source as reputable and as factual as this man that you're about to see. So please pay attention. Please pay attention. It's very important.
The Iranian leadership, they're walking around, despite taking heavy casualties already, they're out in the streets doing leadership stuff. Where's Netanyahu? The fact that it's even a question is a massive red flag. There should be no question about it that he's still alive, if he's still alive. There is some cover-up. The question is, are they covering up because he's dead, wounded, hiding for political reasons, or whatever? Whatever is happening, he's not doing the leadership thing right now.
All right, welcome everyone to this.
So right there, that was just a quick intro. And Mike Adams, I kind of cut him off there, but he's going to reintroduce Micheal Yon. Well, I'm not going to try to do that myself. Let's go ahead and let him go ahead and do that, all right?
Late Sunday night interview with Micheal Yon, who's joining us, I believe, from Japan at the moment. Welcome, Micheal. Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So now, Micheal Yon here, I mean, again, like I said, he's been so well-traveled. And the intro there was on Benjamin Netanyahu. Where is he? That's what they were referring to. And so we're going to be discussing that, giving you the information. I'm going to be bringing you information. That's what we do here at the last stop. You know, this is the living with reality, truth and its consequences. These are things that you're not going to get. You're not going to see anyplace else. You're not going to get this on ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox News. No, you're not going to get this information. You're going to get nothing but straight up propaganda. A while back, Micheal Yon made a statement that really it kind of shocked me, but it surprised me, I'll say. And then he said that Donald Trump, the president, was a Zionist. Okay, now I had not seen that angle, okay? But yeah, he said that. So we're gonna be delving into that there as well. I want you to forgive some of the background noise. I'm in my studio, but I have my furnace. It's not so far away. This is Micheal Yon, again, in Mike Adams' interview, and you'll gather as we proceed a depth of knowledge and information that you're going to be receiving here today. And so, we're going to start right here with Micheal Yon, just giving you this information. Do your own research, pick up some keywords that he speaks on, and then do your research. Back it up. Satisfy your intellect. That is my pet peeve. That's our quote. That's what we say here at the last stop. Do your own research and satisfy your intellect. Micheal Yon.
This domestically, because it seems unlikely that Iranian operatives would have that much capability inside Israel.
Well, if Iranians pulled that off, that would be amazingly impressive. But the Israelis and let's say the Zionists are famous for killing each other, right? Like Yitzhak Rabin, prime minister killed, right? So I mean, by other Zionists, right? Zionists kill each other all the time. They hate each other. They call for. They're unbelievably savage, right? So the idea that it would be an inside attack is like, flip a coin. It's not a vague possibility. It's a high possibility, right? And so now imagine it would be easy to capture. It would be quite easy. It's just like hood over the head, boom, you're gone. 10 seconds, and you could have an explosion go off nearby, act like he got blown up, act like he got killed, pretend like maybe he did this, that, or the other. But in reality, he's gone somewhere. He's either somewhere in Israel in a dungeon, or he's been flown out of the country. And right now, where's his son? Yair in Florida. He's always putting things on his Twitter. He's a playboy down in Florida. Was he 34 years old or so, doing the playboy thing? He's not in the IDF. So in any case, he seems to have vanished, right? And other people in Netanyahu's ecosystem vanished. Now keep in mind, when you're doing hardcore special operations, you'll try to get as much of their ecosystem at one time as possible, right? Let's say they picked up numerous people now, and they're exploiting them. We may never see them again, right? You look at this, another AI. I put that video up, yesterday or so, and it's spreading around quite fast right now because.
So, there, the Zionists, not Israel, so-called, not the Jews, so-called, no, the Zionists. I remember a Bob Marley song, Zion Train is Coming Our Way. And in The Matrix, of the movies, Zion was this place, some sort of utopia, I think it was. But that really contradicts what the reality here. These Zionists, Jewish Zionists, Christian Zionists, Hindu Zionists, more than likely Muslim Zionists as well. These Zionists, I'm not so certain about the Muslim Zionists. I don't want to I get ahead of myself, put over my skis, okay? So I may just scratch that from this broadcast. I don't like to use the term podcast. No, this is a broadcast. I'm not in a pod. I'm in my studio and I'm broadcasting. But let's continue. As Michael was speaking about the son of Benjamin Netanyahu, he's disappeared too. They say he's a playboy down in Florida, not in the military of Israel. No, he's just out just spending money and living lavishly. Here in America, that is.
Happens when the Strait of Hormuz gets closed. Well, here we are.
Yeah, I know. See, this is interesting because I think many people only learn about the Strait of Hormuz from you. You are the one who's been championing the discussion about routes and resources for you.
Routes and resources, okay? Trade routes, resources, food, gas, oil, those things, resources. And then ideology. That's the third factor that Micheal Yon emphasizes on these causes of war and conquest. Routes, resources, and ideology. Okay, I didn't mean to cut that off, but I'll have to work with this here, okay? So work with me as I work with these technical difficulties, okay? Thank you.
And you and I have talked about the Strait of Hormuz many, many times, but it was always just, dismissed. Oh, that'll never happen. That's just doom and gloom. It'll never happen. Because if that happened, it would destroy the whole world's economy. Well, guess what, folks?
Hello. Hello. Yes. Nord Stream would never be destroyed. That would destroy the German economy. I'm like, hello.
Yeah, guess what?
And Groningen gas field would never be closed because it's the biggest gas field in Europe. But why?
What he mentioned there was a Nord Stream pipe. Remember a few years back when the Nord Stream pipeline out in the Atlantic Ocean? Yeah, somewhere over there. That supplies Germany and most of Europe with natural gas. Well, it was blown up, and it's come to be known that the U.S. Black Ops or government did it under the Biden administration, and they promised that they would do that publicly. So just again, that's some research stuff you can look up. The Nord Stream pipeline under Biden, and they openly admitted that they were going to something was going to happen to it. So again, satisfy your intellect, and we'll move forward. Okay, come on, Michael.
Strait of Hormuz would never be closed because it would cause famine, right? And that's why, like 4 years ago, I flew from London or Ireland or someplace, and I met with the old Prime Minister of Thailand, Abhisit, Mark Abhisit. I wrote the last 2 pages in his book. The name of the book is The Simple Truth. That's my title, actually. So I know him, right? So I called him up from London or Ireland or someplace, and I said, "Hey, Mark, can I fly into Bangkok and see you?" And this was several years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. And I said, Thailand could be put into, well, first of all, if the Turkish Straits, the Strait of Hormuz, or the Suez, especially if all 3 of these get shut, you're going into famine, right? But if one of them gets shut, it's a big, big deal. First of all, Strait of Hormuz being shut just itself, you could end up with, for instance, Pakistan and India going into famine, right? Now, Bangladesh as well. Now, I've looked at the route from, I spent almost a year in India, but I've looked at the route. I went to Bangladesh, spent numerous times in Myanmar.
See, this is one of the things this is not one of the things, but it's one of the main things that we have to use to reason with ourselves. This man has been to these places. He's not just talking out of what he done read in a book. No, he's been there, lived there. I mean, all over the world, and really, he's in Japan, he's in South America, he's just the Darien Gap. He warned us all about what was going on, about the inflow of all these, of the world's refugees, illegals. I don't know what to call them now, just invaders. That's what they were. Actually, the invasion of our southern border. Well, Michael Young was the man reporting on that and exposing all of this from before day one. But no, you don't know nothing about this man. No, you never heard no Michael Young, this little old pudgy little white guy. Yeah, but this pudgy little white guy is a wealth of information and knowledge and understanding, and he's not a savage. Notice he said that the Zionists were savages, and they are. They're what are they? It's a long list of things that they are. The movie Eyes Wide Shut, because they're bloodsuckers, they're vampires. Notice that King Charles, he brags, and it's on a documentary, PBS or somebody did it. You can research it, where he says that he is the descendant of Vlad the Impaler, or Count Dracula. Yes, a real Count Dracula. Yeah, he's in the family line of Count Dracula. And he also lives in the castle, Dracul. Yes, they say he stays there half of the year. So yeah, that movie, Dracula, it was not some figment of somebody's imagination. No, this is a reality. We say art reflects reality, or reality reflects art. You have to conceive these things in your mind in order to put it down somewhere, either on film or on a paper. But I'm rambling here.
Route from India over to Thailand, straight shot, highways. There's no Darien Gap between you. And I warned Mark, the former prime minister. He just ran again for prime minister, but he didn't make it this time. But I warned him, that if this happens, you could end up seeing famine in Pakistan and India, not to mention Bangladesh, and they're going to flood straight to Thailand. Now, right now in Thailand, the things that I warned about so many times, I just took Masako and another of my Thai teammates up the Chao Phraya River about 4 months ago. The Chao Phraya River is the one that goes through Bangkok, right? That's the main artery for rice leaving Thailand. That's, I took them way up there to Ayutthaya in a boat that we rented, and I'm like, see these rice facilities? If places like Strait of Hormuz get closed, these things could be empty next year. Now, keep in mind, as you know, famines, there's different types of famines. I've studied famine quite a lot. There's different types. There's famines, I call them light switch famines. Those are famines that just like, boom, something happens and the famine's on, like a volcanic eruption. That's one of the reasons, like, Japan sometimes has famine due to volcanic eruption, right?
Okay.
So volcanic eruption, locusts come in, war, that sort of thing. Then there's another type of famine that kind of creeps up on you. That's a slow famine. And those slow famines, often the second, third, fourth season, those will be by far the worst. Like, we're going into a slow one at this point, and those tend to be the worst. The slow famines are the ones, for instance, if the Turkish Strait gets closed, which I expect it probably will be, Panama Canal, these sorts of things, which I've warned about so many. We were just at the Danish Strait. If you start to see these things get closed off, Strait of Malacca, then the Suez, of course, they are clearly trying to make famine, right? And
now that's a critical point that he just stated there. Then it will be evident clearly that they're inducing this famine, and that's the point I want you to take, family, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys. This is by design. You see, oh, it just happened. No, 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 no. All of this is by design. Israel, so-called Israel. I mean, this man, that's not Israel. Well, anyway, those over there who say they are Jews and are not, but the synagogues of Satan. That's how Jesus describes them in the Bible. These Ashkenazi Jews, that is, European Jews. They have no bloodline to that land. They are not from that land. No, they're not. They are what you call a converts. They're Zionists. There's a lot of trickery, and that's what the whole thing is about, deceit. By way of deception. It's a book on Israeli Mossad. That's the CIA of Israel. But there's no distinction between Mossad, CIA, all these intelligence agencies and whatnot, so-called, around the world. They all work together. Yeah, they all work together, and they all compete against one another too. They're all criminal organizations too, because they're designed to go undercover and break laws. Yeah, I mean, so lie, steal, cheat, whatever they have to do to accomplish their mission. Oh man, I don't want to get bogged down. I don't want you to get bogged down. So I want you can stop this broadcast and take a couple of notes and go review the notes of the particulars that we've already discussed. So this way you can have a comprehensive knowledge of what's going on. Because I know a lot of this stuff sounds, far-fetched and whatnot, and I understand. I've been studying this stuff for many years. Many years. And I can recognize it because I do what? I do my research. I don't just listen to what Michael Yon or Mike Adams or somebody might tell me something like that. No. I do my research. Just as I did my research with the Nation of Islam and the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Message to the Black Man, How to Eat to Live. Studied it. Not just it, but go on and find other various resources that collaborate until I satisfied my intellect to say, wow, okay, it just is. So there's no sense in me going or trying to argue with what is. It's actual facts,
Mines at the Danish Strait, right? And you can say there's sea mines at the mouth of the Rhine River down there, at Rotterdam and Antwerp and that sort of thing, right? So you can close these things off basically with a bomb threat, right?
Okay, I mean, again, I just want to emphasize this man, Michael Yon, his intelligence. Not that he's smart. No, the intelligence, meaning the information, it's intel that he brings to us. I mean, it's so vast, and you hear him talking about this canal, that canal, and it's like he's got a map in his head. That's how much he's traveled the world. You know, the map is in his head now. Uh, a very valuable resource. So I can't emphasize enough that you do some research. Research this man and satisfy your intellect.
I mean, Trump is obviously everything he says at this point is just a complete lie. He says we've completely destroyed Iran. We've totally won. It's over. And then the next day, like, well, we have to send in thousands of Marines, and there aren't any ships moving through the strait, and the Gulf states there are collapsing. Like, look at Dubai. The city is becoming a ghost town. Everybody with money is leaving now if they can. So Trump is just what is Trump doing? Is he just appeasing morons who are dumb enough to listen to him anymore, or what's going on?
Does anybody even listen to him anymore? I mean, I know
he
still
has magatards. Yeah, there's still a few.
Yeah, I mean at this point we don't have time for those people anymore because there's just
Okay. I got to say this here that I was a Trump supporter in a way. I didn't vote for him. No, my leader and teacher and guide is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Period. However, I had a lot of respect for Trump, and he's still a man that commands respect, though, because but he has really betrayed a lot of his campaign promises. He's fulfilled some, but he's betrayed some that are just still just so devastating, like the Doge with Elon Musk. That was a great thing. Elon Musk and his team, man, they were going in there and telling us where all this money, the fraud, and this not just stealing, the thievery. Fraud is I don't know, almost like a cover word, but no, the theft, the criminality of all these agencies and whatnot, these NGOs, non-government officials or offices and whatnot. But yeah, so I just wanted to say that there. So yeah, President Trump, you've crossed the Rubicon, as they say. You've crossed the red line, buddy. And now, well, it's just the minister said it's the beginning of the end. Well, we're well into the beginning. We're into the end now. This is not the beginning of the end. Now, the minister said that we were in the beginning of the end. That was back in 2020, right before COVID was revealed to the public. Yeah, the unraveling of a great nation.
I mean, they're gone. And I mean, I don't like to write people off. It just doesn't. I don't like that. But this is a war, and we don't have time to save every starfish, right? And so it's a triage, right? And at this point, where are the Marines going to go? Carg Island, right? Are they going to do that and be killed? I mean, if you put the Marines there, they're probably going to get hammered to death, right?
Yeah, they're gonna die. No matter where you land them, they're all gonna die.
There's a high chance of that, and very quickly, right? They can easily be cut off. The idea that the Navy can escort people through the Persian Gulf or through the Strait of Hormuz, seriously, that's like
it's absurd.
A rabbit walking past 10 guys with shotguns. Good luck, rabbit.
Yeah, right. And also, even if you do land these Marines somewhere, anywhere, how are you going to supply them? How are you going to supply them?
Right.
You're not.
I mean, you're not. I mean, you're just not going to. And the initiative.
So there you have it. Kind of like up to date on the war against Iran, which is the United States. For us here in America, that has no value whatsoever. This is all for Israel, and this is all for the Zionists, the bankers. See, this is what this is all about. The old world is going out. They keep telling us about the new world order. Yes, the new world is coming in, and by the destruction of the systematic destruction they ruled, and they burnt it up with the fake fiat money, the dollar bill, the U.S. dollar bill, funky dollar bill. I think the Parliament Funkadelics had a song that they had that line in there, U.S. dollar bill, funky dollar bill. But yes, fiat meaning it's like monopoly money. They just print it up, just print, 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 print. And those were the reasons why they murdered uh, Muammar Gaddafi. Oh, I got to, you've got to see this right here. Um, like I said, I was kind of running my mouth, but this
I
is
know that may sound counterintuitive to
critical.
people, but for those who've been studying for a long time, it makes perfect sense. The Zionists don't care at all about Israelis. They use the where's my book on the I don't know. I put it back on the shelf. Yes. Oh, here it is. Yeah, here. 51 documents of the Zionist collaboration with the Nazis, right? I mean, these guys have been working together since day one, right? They actually, the Zionists were helping to kill Jews, so to force Jews to go to Israel. They were trying to, this is a political movement, the Zionists, right? I think the first person known to be assassinated by Zionists was actually a Dutch Jew in the 1800s. They've been killing Jews since day one, right? And obviously a lot of Zionists are Jews, but a lot are not. A lot are atheists, right? And so, and a lot, that as we know, the biggest part of the pie chart are Christian Zionists who are below decks rowing the boat for their Zionist leaders who are on top of the deck enjoying the sunshine, or they used to enjoy the sunshine. But so the Zionists they are a transnational architecture, right? They live everywhere. They live here in Japan. They live in the United States. They live in Panama. They basically have the most influence in Panama, believe it or not, and have super heavy influence in Argentina. Meleakovsky, Mele in Argentina, he has the same last name as Netanyahu. Netanyahu's last name used to be Meleakovsky. They changed it in about 1920 when Meleakovsky's dad, named Meleakovsky, moved from Poland to Israel. He was a
Okay, stop right there. Stop right there. Stop the broadcast. Take it back a little bit and write down those names and where they came from. And then that is the absolute truth, actual facts, you see, of this Ashkenazi sect, this European Poles, Russians, just Europeans who have converted to Judaism. Judaism and Christianity really have nothing in common. The so-called Jews who are followers of the Talmud, not the Old Testament, the 5 books of the Old Testament. No. They wrote them another book called the Talmud. And in this Talmud, they say that Jesus is in hell boiling in feces. That's what they think of Jesus now. So, my Christian family, you really don't understand your own religion for one thing, and but I'm not trying to castigate here. I'm just trying to deliver to you actual facts and reality, because this is the last stop. Where do we go from here? This country, they call it the American experiment. Where do we go when this falls, the fall of America? Where do we go? The fall of America. I was discussing with some brothers, and they were saying, "Man, it's rough, and this and this and that and that." I think about our ancestors who suffered under the whip and the yoke. And so, what are we doing now to reward or to fulfill their dreams for us? Because right now, I said, brother, we living in heaven right now and don't even know it. And we're living in hell too and don't even know it. I've got this book that I left it upstairs because I've had it for many years. And I was rereading it, and it states everything that it codifies, or it makes clear that the realities of the teachings of Jesus, the teachings of heaven and hell, the death, the second death. I mean, this book was written back in the 1800s, I think. You know, not I think, I know it was sometime back, way back early in the 1800s. So it's like the old Bibles. If you get a Bible that was printed back in the 1800s, 1700s, you'll find a lot of things a little bit different than you're reading in your up-to-date modern King James version, but I'm not going to get off into the King James right now, okay? Because that's a mess in itself, okay?
Time Zionist, right? And Maliakovsky's granddad was actually born in Russia, and he was a rabbi. So the grandfather was born in Russia. The father, Maliakovsky, was born in Warsaw. Then they moved to Israel, changed their name to Netanyahu. The current Netanyahu, who may be dead or in a dungeon or something, changed, started using the name Netanyahu. So, I mean, that's where, he picked up the name that his father started using, right? So, and again, the guy down in Argentina, Maliakovsky too. Are they from the same family? I don't know, but they got the same last name. One of the biggest cities in the world for Zionists is Buenos Aires, right? It's amazing when you go down there. What I'm getting to is they are squirting out of Israel. Israel, they are abandoning ship. Israelis I know are gone, right? One was
Buenos Aires, Argentina. There was a play. What was it called? Evita. The modern Evita play was done with who was her name? Not Lady Gaga. Don't Cry for Me, Argentina. I forget. Maybe it was Lady Gaga. I don't know, but before her though, it was done with Antonio Banderas. And Argentina was a place where the Nazis, they say Hitler, may have been down up in there, lived there. Okay, again, reality versus myth. Some of these things we don't know, won't know. Like I said, it could be in a dungeon somewhere, but again, I'm rambling right there. But Don't Cry for Me, Argentina. It was the scene of a great uprising where the president, what was her name? She was Evita, and the president, where they had money coming in and going out with Mussolini. Yeah, they were aligned with the Nazis down there. Okay, I'm going to place a little bit more of Micheal Yon here, and then I'm going to wrap up this segment of the broadcast. And I think we got enough to kind of feed ourselves and digest these things so we can get a comprehensive knowledge as I move forward in these broadcasts, because like he said, we don't have time for the low-hanging fruit or the starfish. Either you're going to gain some knowledge, accept what you're learning, or you're going to be lazy and do nothing and just think that the world's just going to continue on like you are. As in the days of Noah, days of Sodom and Gomorrah, so it's going to be in these days and time. People are going to be dancing, partying, having big time and fun, and doing what they're doing, and all of a sudden, wham, famine is coming here to America. So, but that's for my next broadcast, I'm going to be delving into the famine aspect of this situation. I'm your host and conductor, M. Backham. This is the last stop. Living with reality, truth, and consequences.